how do you measure a client's success in any digital campaign? I think that's a big one because a lot of times, agencies will promise the world, and you've seen it through your competitors, and the delivery on the back end is not what the promise was. And I've seen it countless times, even with my own companies.
Yeah, yeah, no, this definitely can be a challenging one at times to navigate because, especially clients that are doing SEO, that's very easy to show, the increase in traffic month over month or
Hmm.
quarter over quarter, right? But what
Hmm.
you can't predict is a Google update, which also happens all the time, right? There
Hmm.
was just recently there was a helpful content update by Google, which happened like this week. It just completed. And and anytime an update happens, websites shift up and down, and then as an SEO company you need to figure out what you can attribute to that rise or that drop, right? And then
Hmm.
make that an appropriate fix. So predictability on SEO is somewhat difficult, right? But the measure, the KPI, is essentially traffic and also leads in a lot of cases, or sales of product, right? And a lot of times what we'll look at, and this is where it goes back to, the best clients are the ones that are doing a lot with us, because we can look under the hood if we have access to the website and be like, SEO is doing this, your conversions are not increasing though. So that's
I
a
see.
CRO issue, conversion rate optimization, meaning we have to go into the website and understand, well, what is not creating this lead gen as seamless as possible, or what's the friction point,
Yeah.
right? We need to address that friction point and make
Like
certain changes on the website.
something along the lines like, is your quote form completely not accessible when they land on your page and you're just not getting their data or whatever?
And then taking it a step further, right? Okay, let's say we've addressed it. Leads are coming in, people are filling out the form, people are calling via the click to call button. What's happening after that lead comes in? Because it's one thing for us to generate the traffic and generate the leads, but what's that sales process look like on the other end? So this
Mhm.
is we work with a lot of dental practices, for example. And in
Mhm.
that case there, we'll send a ton of leads and they'll be like, oh, our patient count only increased by 10. It's
Yeah.
like, well, we sent you like 100 leads. What happened? So
Yeah.
we actually have a platform we use called CallRail that we connect to all of our click to calls, and we can actually
Mhm.
listen in on those conversations and offer feedback to the receptionist that's taking those calls and be
Yeah.
like, hey, why don't you offer this, or talk about
Yeah.
Invisalign, or talk about this service? We
Yeah.
can really address it. So it's taking things, and this is where agencies probably are like, a lot of agencies might be like, oh, it's not our problem, we just delivered the traffic,
Yeah.
without actually asking the question to find out, well, what happened with that lead?
Why did that lead die out when we did get it to you? Or why is your receptionist not answering that call with a smile? That's very important to, and an honest conversation to have with any business owners. There's been so many businesses I've walked into or dealt with, or even been a part of, where the first person answering the call has the shittiest attitude, and then you're wondering why that lead or that sale has gone nowhere. Well, it's because the person that's the first in line, the first impression of your company, is just the least pleasant on the other end, and that'll kill any lead, in my opinion, that you get in there. And that's why restaurants oftentimes are used to have very attractive, appealing receptionists, or presentable in most cases, especially in the past, where you want to be greeted well. How many times have you guys gone to a restaurant and the person greeting you there cares zero F's if you're going to be seated, et cetera? And you're like, what, why am I giving these people $200 or $100 to eat?
That opens up a whole new conversation with a client, right? It's like, well, hey, let's talk about the sales rep that's taking that call. What's their commission structure like? How are they actually incentivized to close that deal, or are they just having scripted conversations with leads?
Yeah, and getting their hourly, and they think they're doing their job. So yeah, that's totally different. Let's, you know what, this will open something else. Let's stick to SEO because that's such a big thing, and we're going to talk about whether or not that's still relevant, still important in 2023 or the end of 2023. You mentioned there was a new Google update. They do these updates. What are some of the most important factors in ranking SEO? And SEO, guys, is search engine optimization. Instead of paying Google ads to display your website on the top of the page or the bottom of the page or throughout, you're organically ranking your website where Google says, hey, this is a credible source for that search term. We better put it up on, say, page one, which is where you want to be.
Yeah, and one of the most important factors this year, as we speak of this conversation around SEO, is having educational and a highly authoritative content, right? So putting content on your blog that positions you as an expert more than your competitors, right? Showcasing, maybe even showcasing people that work at the company and having thorough descriptions that are SEO optimized, positioning them as the authority. This type of stuff is what Google put the most emphasis on with their most recent update, which is a helpful content update. So it's really about making sure that the right content is being served at the top of that SERP and that the users are getting the best content with the most educational and highly authoritative content that's out there, content generators out there, right? That's a big one. And even because right now it makes it very easy to create content. Like I know
ChatGPT.
Google ChatGPT has been a game changer, right? So everybody's creating ChatGPT content. So what's the differentiating factor between one piece of ChatGPT content and the next? It's all those other signals on the website that position that website as a highly authoritative website in that specific niche.
I see. So you don't want to be kind of using ChatGPT is efficient, but at the same time can really put you in a pool of the same thing over and over again. So you want to differentiate it a bit somehow by adding value that you feel like is from a strategy point of view.
I mean, you probably want to add a little more context to it than just copy and pasting an article from ChatGPT. There's a lot more that goes into it, and I mean, up above and beyond the blog, it's the service pages that you have written, the about you page, all that type of stuff on your website needs to position you as that authority. And if you're a business out there that's not doing any blogging at all, well, you're just going to fall behind. That's it, right? You're not, if you're not doing anything on your website to position you as the authoritarian in that industry, then you're going to fall behind.
Ask you, Jason. So aside from maybe not doing SEO, which you kind of mentioned that, hey, if you're not doing blogging, you're not doing SEO, what are some of the biggest mistakes businesses make when entering SEO or even digital marketing?
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake a lot of people make is focusing too much on the closed sale and not deploying enough patience. Patience is so key to it, right? Because, if you're the type of business owner or entrepreneur that just throws a bunch of shit at the wall to see what sticks. Okay. You need to deploy patience with that strategy on everything, right? And not putting all your eggs in one basket. You know what I mean? We have a lot of clients that will start, let's try Facebook ads for a month. Oh, it didn't work. Let's go to Google ads. Okay, let's go. It's like, no, it's not the way to do it. You kind of got to deploy patience. Like with SEO, you're looking at least 6 months to a year to really start seeing some traction, right? It doesn't happen overnight, right? Building that authority with Facebook or with Google takes time. Now, even on Facebook and Instagram, we always say, give it at least a few months. You don't need to wait as long as Google or with SEO, but you do need to give it a few months because you need to set up your retargeting. You need to have those pools of people to retarget. You see, the most success in a meta campaign, the higher the ad frequency becomes. The ad frequency is how many times people see your ads, right? The best campaigns are like you have an ad frequency of 15 to 20, meaning people have seen your ads 15 to 20 times. That's where we see the best results.
Yeah. And another question for you, how important, and I appreciate that, the tips that you got for SEO, it sounds like content is key. The proper strategy to go into it is essential. It's a good strategy for your business long-term, especially in that 6 to 12 months range, combined with social media strategies that kind of make this a one package. I would say also to add, I think, Jason, we missed, would be to make sure your website is error-free. And
we talk a lot about the content there, but making sure the website obviously does not have errors. Your H1s, meta tags are filled. Make sure your Google business profile is full and posting to it on a consistent basis. That's your formerly GMB. Google My Business, now Google Business Profile, it's essentially, I don't want to say it's a social media tool, but you can post to it on a regular basis because what that does, it gives signals to Google that you're an active business, right? So making sure that Google Business Profile is up to date, especially for local businesses, will help you rank in the map pack.
That's
which is that little map that shows local businesses. You want to be shown up there, especially for any local business.
And let me ask you, your firm, Merge Media, they do both, I would imagine, local SEO, which is kind of more of a Google map centric focus or somewhere local focus with local keywords such as cities and towns. And I would imagine you guys also do national SEO or SEO targeted, say, in the United States, where someone is more broad keyword searching. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a different strategy. Obviously, for local SEO, you're focused on citations, which is other little directories and websites that can drive another link back to your website. You know, we have a local landscape business that we've been working with for years, and we help grow their business from 200,000 in revenue a year to 1.3. And a
Oh,
lot of
wow.
that, yeah, 1.3 mil. A lot of that is by ensuring that their business shows up in the map pack 3 times anytime somebody Googles lawn care or snow removal,
That's
right?
so cool.
Which is pretty cool. They get all
Yep.
those calls. Anytime the first snowfall we get here next month, likely, they're gonna get like 70 or 80 calls.
Let me ask you, Jason, another question to follow up to that one. How many links is a good amount of links to buy, or is that based on how competitive, or is link building even a thing anymore?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, obviously, backlinks is super important, but it really depends on what your competition is doing. So
Okay,
anytime we start a program, we audit and the top 5 competitors within that niche, right? We need
interesting.
to see what backlinks are driving traffic to their websites. We want to go out there and try to get the same links if we can, and find all those signals that's helping drive their ranking to #1 on Google, right? And then try to replicate it. So it really does depend. There's no fixed number on how many you need to get. It really is a case-by-case basis. And one of the reasons why this is an ongoing program, because we want to constantly compete with the competition and seeing what links they're going after. We want to go after the same ones, right?